still in the Christmas mood. We have today two handsome guests, and Tommy said I should allow her to tell us whether they are handsome or not. But we have two talented. Okay, am I allowed to say two talented?
Of course.
Two talented actors. And ESO is not just an actor; he's a lawyer. So I'll just run briefly. Is a brief about him before we start talking to him. ESO Dike, born as Okolocha ESO Dike in Benin City, Nigeria. Is a Nigerian actor, musician, television personality, lawyer, and media entrepreneur. He earned his LLB from the University of Benin, and he went to the Nigerian Law School in Abuja before being called to the Nigeria bar. Interesting, I didn't know that about him. After law school, Dike began his career interning at Spice TV. His acting journey gained momentum in 2016 when he joined the Nigeria television series Teen Cell. We have seen portray notable characters in The Smart Money Woman, in Leia in Undirin TV Game On, and Malik in Africa Magic Rekedo. In 2022, he featured in high-crossing Nollywood films like Ijakumo, The White Flower, and The Stand-Up. ESO, you're welcome to Nollywood on radio. It's been a while. I've been trying to drag you, and I can understand. I always tell actors that I can understand their schedule because of having to work back to back. My first question is this. For me, I didn't know that you worked in Spice TV. I didn't know that you're a lawyer. I didn't know that you were even in Ijakumo, and I saw Ijakumo. You understand? Funny enough. But all of this, I watch everything, ask them. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I just saw that if I see 5 YouTube movie, you'll be in 3. And I also see the fantastic chemistry that you have with almost all the female actresses. So it was easy for producers to pitch you to play different lover boys, different and numerous roles. Tell us, how has it been working in Nollywood? Which film did you think was the film that made people to know that, oh, this man can act, and they started calling you?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. I tell you for free that I haven't been to the mainland without getting paid in the whole year. So, yeah, because it's far. Yeah, so thank you for having me. I mean, thank you for also trying, because I know you've been talking, I think virtually the whole year, but, time hasn't given me the opportunity to come, but I'm happy to be here now. Talking about working in Nollywood, they say when you wake up is your morning. And because I've been on more recently several YouTube productions, a lot of people are just going about like, who's this guy? But I'm going to be like 10 years in Nollywood in January, and some people are still categorizing me amongst best new actors, which is quite interesting, because even prior to YouTube, I've been on so many things. Like my filmography is a lot. So, but again, it seems that the platform that YouTube is, it reaches like to a different demographic, and it just that's where things took off. But I'd say the first film for me that gained traction, like, because I've been in so many things as well. But the first one is what happened was that when The Smart Money Woman got on Netflix, it released on Africa Magic before, did a little bit of a splash. It was like, oh, okay, cool series. But when it got on Netflix, that's when I'd say my trajectory changed drastically, and that's where people started looking for me. But prior to The Smart Money Woman, the first season came out, I'm going to say like 4 years ago, and I'd been acting for more than half a decade at that point. So it wasn't like, oh, new, just that what took off is what took off.
Okay, so I remember that when my first experience with you was Smart Money Woman,
Mm-hmm.
and after the film, after I saw it, it was a series. I went back to look you up. And I saw the name ESO Dike, and I was wondering that did you pick the perfect name for TV? Did you, or were you always known as ESO Dike? Or was it a coinage for like a stage name, like a personality that you come into when you are in your craft?
Oh no, at various times I've been called various things, but that's my name. That's my real name for real. Like at home, everybody calls me Eso. When I was younger, primary school people used to call me Dike. That's my middle name, but my name is Okolocha Sosa Dike. So Eso Dike.
So now tell me, how did your, because 10 years ago, it was not fashionable to be an actor.
At all.
So how did your father, after spending so much money to send you to school to be a lawyer, feel, and then you now tell him that it is not, you don't want to be going to do my lord. It's action you wanted to come between.
Me lord. Yeah, you know, my brother's behind you. He laughed when he heard that question because that's like a house story. When my dad, I think everybody else was a bit aware of my artistic inclinations, so to speak. My mother, pretty much, I've been recording music and doing like entertainment and acting for the longest time, even when I was younger. So my mother had like an idea that okay, and I did tell her that I'm going to do this law. Nobody forced me to do anything, by the way. My parents never forced me to study law. It was all organic. I liked law. I wanted to have a degree as well. I was advised for it as well, but I always knew that practicing law long term wouldn't be my thing. So I don't think my dad was aware of that, because you know how it is with being a breadwinner, always being just busy as a Nigerian dad and all that. I'm just thinking, okay. Also, you said something about it being fashionable. My dad is an academic. He is a very educated man, and he, when you think that maybe that might be a path your people might follow. I am a first gen entertainer in my family, like my extended family. I don't think there's nobody. My mother teaches drama, but in terms of like being in front of the camera, in terms of like actually pursuing things, I don't think there's anybody in my entire lineage who's been on this path. I don't think so. You could understand how that was a bit confusing for my father, who's this academic guy, telling him that, because I said I'm going to Lagos and I'm coming back, and he just believed me. And then I went to Lagos. He's like, what are you doing in Lagos? I'm like, just trying to skirt around. And eventually he found out that I had gotten because he wanted me to also just be on the academic path, pursue, go further in that. And I was like, nah, let me see what's happening in this Lagos first, because so when I came, he was a bit confused. What are you doing in Lagos? Come home, or let's plan. People were talking about apply for work here, do this, do that. But me, I was just trying to, and he wasn't very happy about that at the time. And that's not because my dad is the most supportive father in the world. He just didn't understand, and I didn't have the conversation with him. But eventually, when after a while of just not being too happy about the situation, he actually came to Lagos to see what was happening, and we had a conversation. It was like, that he wasn't aware that this was something that I wanted to do, and that let's see how it goes, because in the end my father is a supportive guy generally, regardless. And that was I remember that after we had that conversation, when I was acting, I was actively doing music. I don't actively do music anymore, but for now I had dropped a CD, and after we had that conversation, my dad had bought 100 copies, just like as a show of support, like, do you get what I mean? So since then, it's been, my father is amazing. He is. I love him so much.
Okay, let me come to your degree, your law degree, and your course and everything. How does that play in what you do today as an entertainer? Now, we see situations where actors are called out on social media, for example, that they renege on contracts, and there are issues all around professionalism, and showing up for work at the right time and all that. How does your law, I'm not going to say career now, your knowledge and your background in law impact your work now as an actor?
I'll be honest with you, not a lot. It just makes me read my contract. Just makes me maybe go through it with a fine tooth comb.
By yourself?
A bit more, mostly by myself. But when it comes to like when I need like proper lawyer work, I send it to my guys who are practicing. I don't, because again, law changes, law evolves. I can't claim to know something I was called about so many years ago. Then I don't know what's happening in the legal sphere at the moment. So I try to read my contracts. I try to look for things, and otherwise, maybe I don't know. I don't think law plays like a huge. I don't think it plays a huge part in this space I'm in at the moment.
Okay.
Now let me ask you my own question. It's tough in Nollywood, especially for starters. How did you cope with the on the tough beginning? How did you cope with the tough beginning? And if you can tell me specifically, how did you get your first major role? Okay.
To be honest, like about coping, I tell you for free that as an actor, I only started breaking even a few years ago. No, I mean, people thought as soon as I got on TV, as soon as I got on Tinsel, as soon as Bumi Davis gave me a role in one thing and people saw me here and there, people just immediately think that maybe you're raking in. And there are times like I have like a true legal story that I might tell one day, but I suffered though. Like real talk, my family members know. My brother is behind you. My other brother knows because he was like firsthand. He saw the suffering. My cousin, who I used to stay with at the time, living in Ogun State in a building that wasn't complete. I'm not even joking about that, and I don't like to talk about it. So skip a little. So people think that as an actor,
it's good you talk about it because it inspires a lot of younger people.
Yeah.
And they know that. And they know that it's not all rosy.
Yeah, but people think that once you appear on TV, it's like a general misconception. I had been on TV for years before I started. I'd made some money here and there, like little change. But before I broke even to a point where I even had to quit, then I said, okay, you know what? Let me quit my day job and actually put.
What was the day job?
I was working on TV.
Spice TV.
Yeah, I was working on TV. Yeah, so it took years for that to happen because starting off, everybody wants to make you think that they're doing you favors. That's just the way Nollywood works, and I think entertainment, maybe Nigeria in general, everybody wants to make you think that they're doing you favors, whereas you are also bringing some value. But you have to understand that I was always of the opinion that paying your dues or working your way up was the way to go. So I didn't mind. I did all the first projects that I did were mostly free, or maybe they'll give you like a gratuity fee. Sometimes I've gotten like a 2K transportation fee before, and that's true. That's real talk. So I did a lot of that, but again, in whatever you do, you have to pick and choose your battles. So even when I was doing those things, I knew that okay, let me see if I can persevere and see where this leads to. And there were so many times that I thought about, this is not helping me, because when you're a man and you are pursuing something, and then maybe the thing you're not even able to when your rent is due, or when you're just even general like smaller things like food, and you're thinking of what am I doing, you can't make that. So you always have second thoughts about it.
Do you want to tell us a producer who paid you well at that time, those times you were struggling?
I can't remember, but I remember producers that believed in me. So I don't remember like particular what's it called? I don't remember particular.
Do you remember your first big payday?
My first big payday.
When you finished discussion, the person said, "I'll pay you this," and you left the place and look at that. They are actually paying me this. Do you remember? Because I remember, I always tell people the first day somebody said it was going to pay me 1 million, and they paid me in cash. I could not sleep that night.
It reached not to sleep. I'm telling you. Yeah, because the smart money check at the time was the biggest bulk check I'd gotten at the time for film. And you have to understand that when Smart Money came, Smart Money met me at one of the lowest periods in my acting career, because again, like I said, I've been acting for about 5-6 years when I got Smart Money. And in that time, like, it just wasn't sustainable. You know, I was on TV a lot, but it wasn't translating to physical cash at the time. So when the Smart Money check came, I was like, okay, let's see. RSA paid me. I don't know what, in retrospect, I don't know what I was worth at the time or anything, but I know that in my head, that money was good for me. Do you get what I mean? So that's one at the time. That was the, I don't want to let people not know my my secret, but that was the biggest check I'd gotten at the time.
Okay, now, did you, those times before Smart Money came, and then people now started calling you, and then you now had the artist fee?
Yeah.
Did you ever think of saying, let me drop acting?
Oh, for sure, all the time. Because again, when you're doing something and you're not able to make money off it, it's annoying, regardless of if you love it or not. And you know, that's the thing. In acting, a lot of things, there's people that it happens for almost immediately. You maybe stick your head in, but a lot of the wider stories is where people, it's a thing of perseverance. You know, it's a thing that this is like, again, it's 10 years in, and people are still saying, oh, new guy, do you know what I mean? It's a thing of perseverance in this space, because my first 6-7 years acting, I wasn't breaking even by any stretch of the imagination. Then all of a sudden, COVID comes and goes, and when COVID comes, obviously, because at the year before COVID, you know, that was the year before COVID was when the Smart Money had come out on Africa Magic, right? That was 2019, I think. That's when Smart Money had come out on Africa Magic, and people had seen it, because, you know, and it got some traction, but, you know, people had seen it, and then I was getting some calls. And then when I get to December 2019, you know, people are calling me to book jobs for next year, and I'm saying, okay, cool, I'm on now. And next thing, COVID hits for basically the whole of 2020, and I'm like, okay, well, it looks like this journey didn't work out. You know what I mean? But COVID turned out to be a blessing of some sort, because after COVID, I got Rihanna. I auditioned for Rihanna. I got that, and I got like Game On and things like that. And it just 2021 just rolled in with so many opportunities, and then it started going. And then Netflix took up Smart Money Woman, and that dropped, and that just gave me like a humongous push at the time. So of course I did think about quitting, even as far as recent as 2020 when COVID hit. It was like, bruh, I was in the house with my roommate and my brother, who's shout out to my brother Kume, by the way. He's not here at the time, but he fully suffered with me for 2020. Yeah, so I was in the house, and I'm not even trying to, all these pity broke stories, I hate it more than anything. But when the house with no money, for real, we were eating. I mean, you know, when you have family members you could call upon and say, okay, what's happening? We're eating. It's not like we were dying or anything, but in terms of like, we didn't really have much at the time. So yeah.
Was there an actor that you were looking up to in Nollywood?
There's several actors I look up to. All my senior colleagues, Daniel Timefyong, F.I.Wara, DME, all my senior colleagues who are doing it on a scale that I aspire to do, and that I'm doing it currently. Uzo, all of them, all my senior colleagues, I look up to them, and I like to pick and choose like things and attributes from them that I could follow. But I admire a lot of my senior colleagues. Like Uzo's versatility, just Daniel's charm, DME's doggedness, just things like that.
As we're rounding up, I'd like to ask you, since you became the darling of everybody, I see that you work almost all the time and the rest of it. And then the media attention, the celebrity lifestyle and the rest of it. How do you cope with the women?
Home training. That's the way. That's people have asked me that, and that's all I have to say about that is home training, because you can't do it all. you really can't. You can try, but you can't succeed, because if you're just trying to, if if entertainment to you means attention for women, that means when the attention is gone, what do you have left? It's going to be like, again, as long as I'm on TV and people have deceived me that I'm fine. So yeah, there's a lot of attention that way. But I have home training, and I'm also not one of those people who started getting attention from women just because I'm on TV. Like, I was in school, and people have always been, I've been around things, and people have always admired me, so to speak. So it just wasn't because
So
yeah,
you didn't need training for that part.
is it?
You didn't need training.
No. So it wasn't the situation where celebrity now. There's women like
Okay, now
before.
the last question.
Yeah.
Is there a woman there? And then, what is the craziest thing that a fan has done to get a
Probably
female
on
fan
social
has done
media.
to get your attention on social media?
To get when Smart Money dropped on Netflix, I used to get a lot of nude photos. So I think that's the first time I'm saying that on air. Yeah. I used to get a lot of nude photos, and it didn't get my attention because that's not the way to get to me. I like funny, witty people, but sending me your private regions on social media is disgusting. So that was.
Is there a babe there now?
Is there a babe what?
Are you seeing someone now?
I'd rather not comment on that. I'd rather not comment on that.
All right. So
don't-
it's been a long time. I've wanted to have you.
Yeah.
And it's very nice that we have you today on our Christmas edition.
Yeah.
I'd like you to end this by telling a young actor who is listening at home there what you think they should do when they want to come into Nollywood.
And wish everybody Merry Christmas.
I wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is ESO Dike, actor, recently minted producer and media entrepreneur, and I want to wish every single one of you listening a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for existing. You matter in the world, and things will be all right. As for an actor who is looking to come into Nollywood, I just have a word, and that word for me is perseverance, because that's what worked for me. Again, there's different stories for different people. There's different stories for different people. You might come in and immediately it might take off for you, but for me it was perseverance. So if you persevere, I'm sure good things will come to you. And also you have to try and improve yourself, because it's the era of social media. You can't say you're an actor and then people are going to check your page and see what's happening there, and then they're seeing pictures of food and things that doesn't concern your craft. So I'd say persevere and put yourself out, and you'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, ESO,
you.
for coming. And I hope that one day very soon, when you have a project coming out, we'll bring you back to come and talk about
That would be fantastic. If only you had brought me when I just a few days ago when Abayomi is here. Abayomi, thank you so much for posting, man. I appreciate you, man. Abayomi is here. Anyway, if only you had called me a few days ago when I just dropped my first film on my channel, Now and Always, I would have talked about that here. But I
saw the movie yesterday.
Yes.
Beautiful movie.
Thank you.
Nice story, nice tunes.
Yeah.
So this holiday, if you are looking for what to watch, go on ESO Dike TV and watch
Yeah.
Now and
Always. Thank you so much.
Beautiful acting with
Inem King.
Inem King
Yeah.
and
The Tola Jones, Ichefuego, yeah. Teniola Aladeshe, shout out to her.
All right.
It's fantastic
Thank you so
actress.
much for coming.